Yeah, it's good. I'm looking forward to it.
Bam, we're live. Okay, let's just dig in. Stop pussyfooting around. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Did Will Smith really slap Chris Rock?
Unbelievable, isn't it? When I woke up this morning, I was like, what is going on in this world?
They're just good actors, right? That's just for fun, right? That's like to give us something to. They just got $3 billion worth of free publicity. They're just messing with us.
Yeah, it's crazy. But Chris Rock took it pretty well, didn't he?
I don't know. I can't. Is it real or not? So you think it's real?
I think it's pretty real. Yeah, that looked like a very hard slap.
Have you seen any? I haven't seen any slow-mos of it. Have you seen any slow-mos of it?
Yeah, in slow-mos, memes, just so much.
Okay, so it connects.
Yeah, 100%.
Because Will Smith's a big boy.
Yeah, it's a big dude. Yeah,
and Chris Rock is he's got a little Prince in him. You remember? Do you remember Prince, the singer?
Yeah,
he got a little Michael Jackson Prince in him, and Chris got rock, and Will Smith got a little bit of the Rock in him. You know what I mean? Just
you can hear the connection when it hits that it was a pretty hefty slap.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, crazy morning.
And all these people, like, I'm seeing that, like, we're consoling Will Smith. How about poor Chris Rock?
Yeah, there's a lot of people been divided down the line if they're on Chris Rock's side or Will Smith's side. Yeah, I think it's very divided.
I think you're allowed to say whatever you want when you're up there.
Yeah, but it's a pretty harsh joke on his wife. You can see both sides of the story, I guess. But
what was the joke? That, like, she has some hair loss issues, and he cracked a joke about her hair loss?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, she's bald, and I think she's got alopecia, I think it is.
Yeah.
And, he made a joke about that, but
okay. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a really tiny penis, alopecia, or live in Kiev right now? I'm gonna go with alopecia for the win.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm pretty much there already. So but no, I think if it was Will Smith, you'd probably wait to the break to say something. You probably wouldn't do it live.
Yeah. Or how about just wait out by his car afterwards? Oh, those two poor guys. I really like Will Smith too. I mean, I love him.
My favorite actor. He's literally my favorite actor.
Let me cross that off. Who is your favorite actor? That's one of my favorite questions to ask.
Question.
I like who's the guy who got accused for hitting his wife, and he's in all the he's in all of the pirate movies. What's that guy's name?
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I like anything Johnny Depp does, anything Denzel Washington does, and anything
Leonardo.
No, the guy we were just talking about, Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to go, yeah.
Except for After Earth. That was a terrible film.
I didn't see that, and what's funny too, okay, I'll give you another one. I can't watch Pirates of the Caribbean too. After saying all that, I'm just not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those films anyway, but I like pretty much anything Will Smith does apart from After Earth and Wild Wild West. That was a terrible film.
I didn't see that either.
Oh, it's really old, like 20 years old, but yeah, terrible. Yeah.
He was great as the Fresh Prince. How old are you, Zach?
31.
Oh, okay. So you're very young, but you're old as dirt for a CrossFitter.
Yeah, I've been doing CrossFit since I was 23, 24, so I feel like I'm doing it for a long time now. I think when I started the Open, it was my 8th year of my Open. I was like, that's gone crazy quick.
Let me see. I spent all last night on the assault bike trolling you. Let's see if I can usually I have someone who helps me. I don't know where they are today. Your first Open.
Yeah, when was it?
Really enjoyed my first ever CrossFit Open. I think it says 2017. So 979th in the world for your first attempt. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I had no idea what I was doing. I think I attempted some of the 15 and 60s, but I didn't submit any of my scores or all my scores. I think 2017 was the first year I did the full Open and submitted all my scores.
You're kind of the opposite of me. I would always sign up, but then submit someone else's scores. So we're a little bit different.
What else in the videos?
Where you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to change your name to your Instagram account. Is it at
Zack George?
Just the way it's spelled?
Yeah, ZACK and then George.
You're competing hard in YouTube with some little kid who trains dogs. Did you know that?
the amount of people who tag me in dog stuff on Instagram is insane.
He doesn't even spell his name like you. I didn't watch any of his videos. Is he English like you?
No, he's American. It's spelled Z-A-K. But the amount of people are, oh, look how well my dog's learning to go for the toilet outside. Like, I get so many of it. It's crazy. But he's got a massive following.
It's like, because you spell your name right and he spells his name wrong.
Yeah, not many people spell my name right first time. But yeah, I get a lot of confusion with the other Zack George in America.
Maybe it's just me, but it's amazing to me that you're not more popular in the United States. Once I came across you, I was like, holy shit, how did I not see this guy? But I think the CrossFit community is kind of like that. There's all of these amazing like people just hidden in the nooks and crannies. Like another one of the guys is you know that guy, they call him the Fitness Wizard. I don't even know his first name. Do you know who that is?
No.
The Fittest Wizard. Someone will put up his name. There's just all of these people out there. It's like, holy cow. Like I was going through your Instagram. What a great following you have, and what a great bunch of sponsors you have. You've really killed it. People have embraced the shit out of you.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of I'm a lot bigger than most CrossFitters. So when I'm on the competition floor, I look like a bodybuilder on the floor. So I think I get a lot of attention due to that reason. Another reason, I think I post all my workouts and most of my times on my Instagram. So I always try to help motivate people, get them into fitness. And I think people like that side of me and how I don't hide a lot of the stuff I do. I just post it on social media for people to try or to see. So I think a combination of those two probably helped me along the years.
Do you know how tall you are and how much you weigh in American numbers, in American metrics?
Not in America. I'm 6 foot, whatever that is. And then 98 kilos now. But then when I'm in the off season, I'll be about 101 kilos. So
I think that's is it 225 pounds?
Yeah.
220? Okay. Wow, that is big.
Yeah. It's pretty heavy for CrossFit. I feel it in some of like the first workout in the quarters, the handstand press at one. Wow, that was tough.
Speaking of handstands, that was one of the cool things about your story. There's a lot of cool things about your story as I dig into it. But one of the cool things is that you took a weakness, handstand push-ups, and you turned it into a strength. I think the manager at your gym was saying that in an interview. And that sort of, I mean, that's one of the cornerstones of CrossFit, right?
Yeah, 100%. It cost me the game spot in 2019. So I can't remember my finishes in the UK. I think there's roughly like first, second, first, third, and then 168th. So it literally cost me, the game spot that time. So as soon as I did that work, I was like, right, I'd never want to be in this position again. And I did them pretty much 4 times a week for years on end. And they're good now. I think they're good now for my size, but it's still hard to keep up with the smaller dudes on movements like that. So it's not like a massive hole now, but I still want to get better with them. I still want to be able to compete with the smaller guys at those sort of movements.
Where is home for you, for those of us who are geographically illiterate?
So England, a little place called Leicester. So bang in the Midlands of England.
And what, that's west of London?
North.
Okay.
North. So it's around Birmingham, Nottingham. So it's pretty much bang in the centre.
How far from there?
From London?
From London. Just
on the train, 55 minutes. Driving, 2.5 hours.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. So train quick.
Is it considered a suburb?
Yeah, parts of it. Yeah.
So, you're born there in London.
Born and raised in. No.
In England.
Yeah.
And your parents, are they born and raised in England?
My mum was. My dad's from Guyana in South America. He moved over to here when he was 11.
And what brought him there? How did he get there?
So crazy story, really. His mum moved over to England just for a better life, but she couldn't afford to bring any of her kids over. So I got my dad, his 2 brothers, and his sister. So she moved over to England, worked for a year, then built up enough money to bring her daughter over, and then did it year by year to eventually bring all the kids over.
Wow, that's similar to my family story. My dad came over, and then one by one brought over his 7 or 8 brothers and sisters, and then his parents, and bring them over one by one.
Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, so my dad grew up here. It would have been a tough time because racism was quite a big thing back then. So yeah, he had a lot of stuff to deal with. But
What year was that?
when he moved over,
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. So he's 66 now. He moved over when he was 11. So how
Okay.
quick's your maths?
There's a great movie. I, I, I want. It's not Vidal Sassoon. Maybe it is Vidal Sassoon. It's one of the big haircut shampoo guys, and basically he lived in London, and his whole it's fascinating from an art perspective because he changed the way people cut hair. I guess when he started cutting hair, they would cut women's hair, and then you would have to leave the hair like that for like weeks, right? But he figured out, hey, let's cut women's hair like men's hair, basically, and just make it so they can wash it and just comb it and do it themselves every single day instead of have it styled. But basically, when he was in London, he would cut hair by day and then hunt Nazis by night. It was a fascinating movie. What made me think about that is that you talked about the racism. It's funny when I think of the UK, I never think of, I don't know, for some reason that never pops in my head. I just think of beer
Beer
or pubs. Yeah, when I think of the UK, I just think of pubs. Yeah.
Yeah. The English love a pub. It's never been a big thing of mine, but yeah, he had a quite a tough upbringing, should I say? But yeah,
and then what's he do for a living? What's your dad do for a living?
So my dad, so he came over, he just obviously went to school, left school when he was 16, 17, and then he went into clothing manufacturing. Had nothing, and then built up a really successful business with my mum, and then did that and retired when he was 40.
Oh, wow. So your dad's an entrepreneur?
Yes, yeah. Pretty amazing considering they literally had nothing when they moved over.
Hard worker, doesn't know how to stop.
Yeah, very hard work. And him and my mum, they've been together since they were 13. And I think they kept their relationship hidden for about 10 years because of the racial tension.
Because your dad's black and your mom's white.
Well,
and that's no good. That's no good. You can't do that.
Yeah,
30, my mum's 50 years ago.
Yeah, my mum's parents weren't keen on it. My dad's parents weren't keen on it. So, they kept their relationship hidden for quite a long time.
Hey, did they ever come around? Did your grandparents ever come around?
Yeah,
like, shit. All right, fine.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was a very nice, happy ending.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like that with the in any of the purebloods. The Jews don't want their kids marrying outside of the Jews. The Armenians don't want their kids marrying outside. Probably, maybe for different reasons. Maybe if you're white or if you're black, you don't want it because of the skin color. But within like being Jewish or being Armenian, those families, they want you to marry within your, and I'm generalizing, they want you to marry within your ethnicity pretty strongly too. But then eventually you get old enough and they don't care. So like my wife's mom, she wanted her to marry a Jew, but then after like you get so old, they're like, all right, just marry anyone. Yeah, that short Armenian guy, he'll do. Yeah, get him. And now do your parents, are you married?
No, not married. No, I live with my girlfriend. It's still in Leicester, and then my parents still live where they live.
Were you married?
No, never been married. No.
Oh, I thought I saw on your Instagram you referred to someone as your wifey.
Oh yeah, that's just like an English term.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah.
So you guys are like Americans. You use words that really don't mean what you're saying. Good. I'm glad that happens over there too. We have a lot of that going on here. And when you saw your parents, did you see your parents struggle? Did you see your mom and dad like up late at night working hard? And did you see that?
My dad wasn't home too much. He was working a lot. He was always traveling around Europe for different things. So yeah, I definitely saw my dad working a lot of the time. My mum worked with him to a certain point, but then she became a stay-at-home mum, and she just looked after me and my sister. So I think that's one of the main reasons my dad retired so early, is because he was just working so much. He was like, what's the point in working so much if you can't enjoy it with your family, enjoy what you've earned? So yeah, he just decided he wanted to retire and have a bit more family and a bit more quality of life rather than just working every single day.
Did you feel for him when you would see him work? Like if you, as a kid, you remember being like, man, my dad's grinding.
No, because I don't think you understand that as a kid. I don't think you just think your dad's going to work and that's what every dad does. You don't really see any other people's dads or how often they work. So for me, it was just normal that my dad would be working a lot and my mum would be at home. It's not till you grow up and you appreciate how hard he worked and what he did for the family and the sacrifice he made. But I think you learn and you realize that as you get older.
When he retires, when he's 40, does he start another business? Does an entrepreneur not be able to stay still? Like, does he?
He had a few properties and things like that, but he literally just wanted from having so many years of working constantly, I think he literally just wanted to enjoy it and have some quality family time for a couple of years. And he did that for 10, 15 years. And now he's finally got himself back into a few more things because he was just getting too bored. But yeah, I think he enjoyed retirement for quite a long time.
And your parents are both very attractive. You got
on there, yeah.
And it could have gone bad for you because you have a pretty mom and a pretty dad. And if they had had an ugly kid, it would have been all just messed up.
Yeah. She looks really good for age. She's 66, so yeah, she looks very good.
And I saw some other picture of her, and she used to look kind of punk rock, and now she looks more proper. Like when your dad first started dating her, she looked like she had a little Cyndi Lauper in her.
Yeah, because they were both into fashion. She's like just dressed in crazy style. So she's definitely someone that you'd walk down the street when she's younger, but like she'd be dressed pretty cool. But yeah, so I think that was part of the job.
And do you have a sibling? You have a sister?
Yeah, my sister, she is 7 years older than me. So when my mum was younger, she wanted a really big family. She always wanted like 5 to 10 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, she wanted a huge family. She had my sister, and then she had 7 miscarriages, and then me. So
why did she have? What was there an explanation for the 7 miscarriages?
No, I don't know if there is an explanation for it. Or if there was, obviously I didn't know. I never really kind of asked her, I don't think. But 7 miscarriages in between, and then finally had me.
Man,
it took a big toll.
My wife had a miscarriage. Then we had the first baby. Then she had another miscarriage, and that second one like really screwed her up. Yeah, because and she bled a lot. Like physically, it really, like I hear about people talk. I always thought that if my wife had a miscarriage, it would be emotionally really tough on her. But this, I mean, of course, it was emotionally tough on her, but not compared to the physical. But 7 is nuts.
Yeah, and 7 in a row as well.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to Mum actually a couple of weeks ago about it, and and she never really said this, but the last one really kind of messed her up mentally. And she went a bit off the not off the rails, but mentally she really struggled for about a good couple of months after that. Just didn't want to get out of the house, was just staying in bed all day.
My wife's skin color changed. She turned yellow, and it took her 5 months to be normal again.
Yeah, it takes the body.
She lost so much blood.
Get back into sync and all the hormones to level out and things like that.
Excuse me, did she almost ever die from any of those? Did you ever hear any stories where she was bleeding out or she had to be rushed to the hospital or anything like that?
I think 2 of them were quite bad. There's a lot of blood loss, and they're all at different stages. So obviously, the further you get down the pregnancy, the harder it is. I think she had to give a stillbirth on one of them as well. So yeah, it wasn't a nice stretch of years that was. But I think that's one of the reasons me and my mum are so close now, is because when she finally had me, it was like a miracle that she could have another kid.
Yeah. Do you still sleep in the bed with do you still sleep in the bed with your parents?
No, I just got out a couple of weeks ago.
Good.
It's a big moment.
I'm kind of joking, but this morning as I'm getting up to do the podcast, I look over in my bed and my wife's using my 7-year-old son as a pillow. I'm like, oh, this kid's damaged. This kid is going to be so damaged. And did you feel that as a child? Just incredible, just like attachment from your mom?
100%. Yeah, massively.
And you must have loved that. Did you love that?
Yeah, it was great. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. It's definitely what contributed to me being a very overweight kid as well. So it had its good points and its bad points. Because my mum would, if I wanted, so I used to eat horrendously when I was a kid, super overweight. Used to have like bags of Haribo every single day, McDonald's 3 or 4 times a week, KFC twice a week. But my mum would never say no, just because I think she just loved me so much that she didn't realize just saying yes to anything that I wanted is not going to be great for me. As you can see in that picture, I can't remember how old I was there, but I was complete opposite of the person I am now. Extremely lazy, loved junk food, didn't want to do any exercise, just wanted to eat junk food all day. And
were you raised to avoid discomfort?
What do you mean?
Like I just feel like I was raised to avoid discomfort. Like my mom would say, "Oh, that doesn't feel good," or "That's too hard," or I just feel like that there were things like, and I grew up hating sweating. I hated sweating.
Really?
Like even as a teenager, I hated sweating. Did you avoid? Did you play sports? Did you avoid? Like I avoided that stuff. If like we would do the presidential fitness exam, and you'd have to run a mile, which was 4 laps, and I'd let all the kids lap me, so I only had to run 3, and then I'd come in. Like, did you do
So
stuff like that?
it's strange because I love sport. I was always been an extremely sporty kid. I was good at rugby, good at several
Okay.
different sports, but I loved playing the sport. But if you asked me to go for a walk or run outside of a sport environment, I'd be the laziest kid ever. Swimming's the only thing that I really avoided because I was too embarrassed of how I looked. So I always kind of missed swimming lessons, always missed swimming
What do you
class.
mean? You just put on a white t-shirt so that way when you jump in the water, it sticks to your
No, but
body and everyone really knows how fat you are.
then people know you stand out even more because you're wearing a t-shirt and no one else is wearing one.
I was that jackass.
So yeah, you just stand out even more. So I always used to fake I was ill or something like that to try and get out of swimming lessons. So yeah, within a sport environment, I was really enjoyed it, but outside that, I was yeah, a very lazy kid.
Hey, look at this picture of you here. How old are you in that red and green shirt?
So that was at Stonygate. So I think that must have been about year 8. So probably would have been about 11 or 12, maybe.
Hey, is that kid standing up next to you?
Yeah. So no, he's sitting on the bench in front.
Okay, good.
Absolute giant.
Um, you're lucky you didn't damage your body. You know
Yeah.
what I mean by that? You're lucky you didn't. There's a lot of people out there now who've gotten so obese that when they lose the weight, their shit's all fucked up. They're like like when a car gets totaled,
Yeah. Yeah.
like in the frame bends, and they're
Yeah.
like, hey, you could still drive it sometimes, but like your car will never be the same. Like you
Yeah.
could have, you look like you're pretty close to doing that to yourself.
Yeah. Especially if I'd have stayed in the habits I was doing back then up to the age of like 18, 19, that would have been, yeah, bad news. And I think my dad recognized that, and he was the one that said that pretty much you need to lose some weight because if you carry on the path you're going, you're not going to be very happy as you grow up. And my mum, being my mum, she was like, no, he doesn't need to change. He's perfect how he is. But my dad was like the realist, and he was like, look, come on, we need to sort this out now because it's getting a bit out of control.
Did that put tension between your mom and your dad?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had several arguments about it when I was younger. My mum's saying he doesn't need to change. I think my dad's saying he does. He's getting too big. Um, and the thing that really sparked it was he basically said, "I'll buy you a PlayStation 2 if you lose some weight." So he bribed me into shifting the pounds.
It's interesting you say that, man. That incentive thing. So I have this thing with my kids that my kid he saw $100 bill and he goes, I want $100 bill. I go, easy. Just do 100 workouts. Every time you do a workout, just mark it on the board in the garage and you get $100 bill. You know, you incentivize it.
Yeah.
When a kid gets fat, yeah, it's interesting. Did anyone ever call you fat in your family? Like any of your sister, like be like,
No,
hey, fat boy, or any of that shit?
no, definitely not in my family. At school, yeah, people would call me names a few times, but I always got on with everyone at school. So I think that massively helped. I didn't really get bullied or anything like that. I think
Go ahead.
the biggest sort of thing in that department was when I used to play different schools at rugby. So you play in a school that no one knows you. That's when you get a lot of people calling you fat and calling you all different names because they don't know who you are, they don't know your personality, they don't know how that affects you. So yeah, when you play different teams at school, that's when you probably get the most people calling you names. But I never really had it too bad in my own school or in my own family or anything like that.
This picture down here with your arm around this dude with the red shirt. How old are you there?
So that was in Mexico. So I reckon I was about 16, 17. So that's just probably after 2 years after I really started to get in shape and really look after my nutrition, started training 3 or 4 times a week. And I think that was the transition from me going from the overweight kid to becoming the sporty kid and the guy who was into his fitness the most in the school. Yeah, and you can see I probably got into it a little bit too much.
I don't know. You look great. You look like just some dude who just kicks it on the beach and hits on girls. I like that lifestyle. Um, how did you? So you were 11 years old or 12 years old when your
Yeah,
dad said something?
11, 12, yeah. Yeah, and he said, right, we'll make a deal, because I really wanted the PlayStation 2 at the time. He was like, I'll buy you a PlayStation 2 if you lose some weight over the course of the month. If you do it, then at that month we'll go get a PlayStation 2. You can buy a game, and then you've achieved it. So I
How
remember.
much did you weigh then? Do you know when he told you that?
No, never. People always ask me. I can never remember how much it was. Can't remember how much I lost in that time. But I do
But you
remember.
big. You're a big kid. You think you were
Yeah.
200 pounds? You think you were 200 pounds?
No.
No.
I don't think so. Um, but yeah. So he basically said, right, we'll measure you now. We'll weigh you now. In a month's time, we'll do it again. And he left it up to me as well, which is, my dad's always good at that. He didn't just say, right, now you're going to be eating this, you're going to be eating this, you're going to train this times a week. He said, look, this is if you want to do this, you figure out how to do it. And I'll reward you at the end. So I just basically said to myself, right, if I'm having 6 McDonald's a week, if I have 2 a week, I'm pretty much going to lose some weight. So I just cut back on the junk food. Didn't do any other exercise, just literally cut back the junk food probably by 50%. And then after the first month, I remember I was really nervous. We had the tape measure out. I lost a couple of inches on my stomach, lost some weight. And my dad was like, right, amazing, you've done it. You did it on your own. Let's go buy your PlayStation 2. And I remember going to Toys R Us, just this absolute like mansion of toys everywhere. Got to choose the console, got to choose my game.
Dude, Toys R Us was dope.
Yeah, it was literally the best like toy store when you were a kid. It was just like heaven.
Yes.
And yeah, it felt great. Felt great to have achieved something. It was the first time where I'd like set a goal, work towards it for a period of time, and then achieve that goal. And it was a really good feeling, and I really enjoyed it. And then it wasn't till probably 3 or 4 years later, we went to an Anthony Robinson seminar. So I don't know if you've.
Well, is that Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
Who's we?
Sorry?
Who's we? You said we went to a Tony Robbins, Anthony Robbins?
All my family, mum, dad, and then my sister, me and my sister.
No shit.
Yeah. And it was, I was about 15 there. And I remember at the time that I really didn't want to go. I didn't know what it was about.
Fuck that guy. You're 15 years old. You should be at the beach partying. You want to go see Anthony Robbins? Talk to me.
I just wanted to have a weekend with my mates. But my dad's like,
throw rocks at cars and shit.
Yeah. I wanted to go to this weekend. I think it's going to be really good for the family. I was like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. So we went there, and it was literally the biggest life-changing experience probably of my youth.
So he just blew you away. He's amazing. He said some shit that altered your course.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was all about kind of motivation, nutrition, like wanting more from yourself. Yeah, it was just absolutely amazing. We learned so much from the weekend. And after that weekend, it was the first time where I wanted to get in shape and kind of live the best life I can for myself. I didn't really need anyone else to give me an external reward. I didn't need my dad to say, look, if you carry on this, I'll reward you with this. I literally just wanted to do it for myself. And we all came away as a family, really wanted to learn about nutrition, and it's really kind of kicked us in a really good direction. And ever since then, I fell in love with fitness, and yeah, never looked back really.
Was your sister jealous of yours and your mom's relationship?
No, we're all a really close family. Super close. So I'm really close to my sister, really close to my dad. So not at all.
She probably treasured you too, because she saw your mom go through all that shit.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I'm really close to my sister, and I remember loads of times we'd be at home and would paint, would draw a fake six-pack on my stomach and just all sorts of random stuff like that. But yeah, she's definitely not a jealous person at all.
It's it's hard for a dad to see. I mean, I guess I can only speak for myself, but sometimes it's hard for me to see my wife. I don't want to say baby. She doesn't baby them. Let's say over nurture them.
Yeah, it's a good word.
Over nurture them. It's hard, and I guess your dad just showed a lot of restraint, right?
Yeah, he could definitely say that. Say my mum was over nurturing me, and he could see that. And if he didn't step in, then I don't know where I'd be today. So it was a very important role that he did. But sometimes stepping in can be quite tough. And like I said, it would have caused a few arguments between mum and my dad. But both of them would never change anything, and it needed to happen.
I don't know if I'm old, but your parents got hotter as they got older. Maybe that's just because I'm old and like my whole my perspective has changed.
Yeah, they've aged very well.
I mean, you must be proud of them.
Yeah, hugely proud. Yeah, like people always ask me who's your biggest inspiration. I always say my parents, just for what they've been through, how hard they've worked, what they've achieved. They're great parents, really good business people. Yeah, they've set so many examples for me that I've kind of lived my life by. So yeah, they're definitely my role models.
I always tell people the greatest gift your parents can give you is to be financially stable when they're older, because it would be so stressful if your parents were just like if you had to worry about your own life and your parents' life. It would be so stressful.
Yeah, they've done a really good job, and they're amazing parents, and yeah, very fortunate to have such great parents.
There was one picture here that oh yeah, I like this one. I know that I'm sure that's not what's going on, but when I think of your story, I think of this picture. I picture when I saw this, I was picturing myself as your dad.
Yeah.
I'm sure your mom's like hugging you, but what it looks like is your dad's coming at you and your mom's holding you back. Like you and your dad are about to get into a fight. You know what I mean? Like, do you see that? I mean, I know that's not what's happening.
No, I've never ever looked at that picture and thought of that ever.
But when I saw this picture, I was like, yeah, sometimes this is how it feels with my boys. Like I need to come at them and give them some tough love. And you know what I mean? Shake them up a little bit. My wife's like, nah, go easy on them. And I'm like, nah, not go easy on them.
No, that picture is at regionals 2018. So that just it sums my parents up. That's my mum running up to me, probably crying her eyes out, giving me a massive hug.
Look, you can't even put your arms down. You're so just like, look how swollen you look. You can just see your forearms and be like, look at the pump you have. It's crazy.
Yeah, I get a massively pumped when I train. And then my dad just kind of walking over casually and just give me like a nod of approval. That just sums
He's not giving you a nod of approval. He's like, hey, everyone, that's my boy. Look at my boy.
Yeah.
He's so fucking proud
of you,
dude.
Very proud nod. And then my mum's losing her shit and she's going mental and crying and hugging me.
So well, I'm going to come back to losing the weight and cutting back on the McDonald's and find out what the next step was too. So how did you do this year in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, I did. I think I did all right. I was 35th. Considering the first two workouts were not amazing for me. So it was the handstand press at one. I knew that would be tough. Like I said, I've worked a lot on them over the years, but I'm still kind of 98 kilos, so I'm always going to find those workouts pretty tricky. The second one, pistol is always a very bad movement for me. I've got a bad ankle that always gives me a lot of jip when I do pistol work. And when I was injured last year with my hip, pistol is another thing that really aggravates my hip. But yeah, got through them. I knew the workouts would progress and get better for me as I go through them. And then the last three were a lot stronger finishes for me. So this quarterfinal stage, for me, it doesn't matter where you qualify. You just got to get that top 60. And then it really, really matters at the semi-finals. So happy with my performance. Body's feeling good and ready to attack it for the semis now.
Is the goal still to go to the games?
100%. Yeah, that's always been the goal.
You've been doing this so long now? Do you ever compare yourself to other years? Like, oh, I'm not giving it as much this year, or I'm giving it more this year.
Not really, because I think my chances in my head, my chances of really like qualifying for the games started from 2019. So for me, the years before, that was all of like a learning curve. I was developing as an athlete. I knew that I wanted to get to games eventually, but I knew I wasn't ready at that time. So it wasn't like I was going through all those early years being disappointed because I'm not making the games or not getting as far as I wanted to. And then when I made regionals 2018, after that, I was like, right, the next year, I believe I'm good enough to be a games athlete now. Obviously, narrowly missing out in 2019 because the handstand press was frustrating. 2020 qualified, which is obviously amazing, but then COVID hit, so wasn't able to go. And then injury last year. That last year was probably the most frustrating out of them 3 years because 2019 was just I hadn't worked on handstand press ups, so that was on me, and I put my hands up, and I've worked a lot on them since. So that was my fault in my programming. 2020, obviously, completely out of my control. Had nothing, couldn't change that. And then 2021, I felt good. I really was extremely motivated. I think a lot of the fire was in me because I missed out the year before, and then to have it just kind of taken away because of an injury that I've kind of just been neglecting, that was kind of the hardest year for me, I think.
What was the injury?
So apparently it was called IT band syndrome, apparently. So it's basically inflammation of your IT band.
Okay. I don't have one of those. Only athletes have those.
So basically I couldn't squat for about 2.5 months. Couldn't do like running, couldn't do any sort of heavy pulling from the floor. And I could feel it. I could feel something building up over the months leading up to the Open. But because I was so determined and so annoyed from the year before, I just kind of ignored it because I was like, right, full steam ahead. Nothing's going to stop me. I'm making it this year.
Yeah.
And then the lift on the Open, it was the clean, hang clean, front squat jerk or something like that, was it? I can't remember the exact workout. But it was the part A, part B. It started with the front squats, gymnastic movement, then the thrusters. And then it went front squats again, a different gymnastic movements, thrusters. And you finished that workout at a certain time. And then you had remaining time to find a heavy lift for the complex. And I went in for the hang clean and just felt a massive sharp shoe pain from my hip down to my knee. And I was like, that didn't feel good at all. I was just hoping I'd be able to just brush it off and kind of come back in a couple of days. But after about 2 days after that, it still wasn't settling down. I couldn't kind of get up the stairs properly.
Where is the pain? Is it on your knee?
So on that picture, so it's literally when it happened, it was from the hip all the way down to the knee. That whole IT band was like a massive sharp shooting pain all the way down the leg. And
is that why I see people rolling on that? When I see people using rollers on their side, that's what they're rolling out, that giant.
Yeah, IT band, which there's a kind of, some physios say you shouldn't roll it out. Some say you do, because it's a tendon. Apparently, you're not supposed to roll it too much. But I was rolling it after I did it because it was just so painful. And then my physio, basically said, "Sorry, Zach, but you're not gonna be able to squat for 2 months doing this." And I was like, "Yeah, thanks, mate, but I need to be ready for quarterfinals, so I need to kind of ignore that. I need to get ready." So he was like, "Right, okay, let's do everything we can, and then let's see what the workouts come out and see how we handle it." So I was hoping in those 3 weeks that the quarterfinals weren't going to be very leggy, and then they came out and it was like 4 max front squat. There was that 180 pistols, there was 120 wall balls, and I was like, "Wow, I don't think I'm going to get through this." We warmed up. We tried to do the front squat one first, and I think I got to 70 kilos, and I couldn't squat anymore.
This was in 2021?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, we had to make the call that I was going to have to pull out because I don't think 70 kilo for max front squat is going to get me very far.
Hey, there's a question here I want to ask. Does this question even make sense? What kind of British accent is that? Are there different kinds?
Yeah, it'd be Leicester, so just the Midlands. So it's not like a Geordie accent from the north. So it's just a Midlands.
Wow.
Leicester.
Wow. I had no idea. I guess I did know. I guess I've been around English people and they can tell where you're from in different parts.
Oh yeah, we could tell there's lots of different accents in UK.
Is there one that's called like Cockney?
Cockney, yeah. So that's down south. So
yeah,
that's where my girlfriend's from. So like London way.
I just like it because you get to say the word cock when you say it. Cockney. It's one of my favorite words.
They use like apple and pears stairs.
Explain that to me. Say that again. Apple and pears.
I'm going up the apple and pears.
Oh, that's what it sounds like when they say I'm going up the stairs?
Yeah, it's Cockney rhyme. So things like dog and bone is phone.
That's awesome. How do you have time for a girlfriend?
I actually have a lot of time, to be fair, considering like you're a full-time athlete. So you train for 3 or 4 hours a day, and then the rest of the day you're recovering and you've got lots of spare time. So it's not like I've got a 9 to 5 job and then I go to the gym, so you don't have really much time. So yeah, plenty of time in the day.
How do your mom and your girlfriends get along? Being that you had this mom you were her everything. Is it weird? Is it weird having a girlfriend? Does she scrutinize them and put them under the magnifying glass?
She probably does, but I don't think she tells me. And then after a couple of, so maybe a year or so of dating Sam, she was like, "Zach, I really like Sam." And then I know I've got the approval then.
Right.
So didn't tell me she's kind of monitoring and sussing them out, but she definitely is, and my sister too.
So it's not, that's awesome. So basically she just wants what's best for you. She sees that you're happy. She wants you to be happy. It's not that she's trying to get you from her or your time. She just wants to see her son happy.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I think that's what any parent wants, is to see their children to be happy and successful in what they do. So yeah.
You know what's crazy about parenting is, I just thought of this as we were talking that out. When you go to Disneyland as a kid, you want to ride the rides, and that's how you get enjoyment.
Yeah.
But there's nothing more enjoyable than watching your kids ride the rides. If you can get to that spot, it's bizarre. You can't even kind of explain it. Say it again.
Yeah, I've got a niece, and my sister's. Well, I've got two nieces. My oldest niece is about 6 now, and I can describe that with Christmas. So Christmas when you're a kid, it's the best thing ever. You open all your presents and amazing. Yeah. And then like between the ages of like, I don't know, 20 to what I am now, Christmas becomes just another day. Like for me, it's more about family now and spending. I couldn't care what presents I get. It's about seeing my family, seeing my cousins, all the people I don't see throughout the year. But now I've had my nieces for the last couple of years. It's about literally at Christmas. I can't wait to just buy them so much presents
and watch them open it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, when I have kids, I know it's definitely going to be about them and watching them enjoy Christmas. So yes, I definitely see where you're coming from with
that. Magnus, 20 burpees for that bullshit. 20 burpees. What's bigger, Sevan's legs?
That's an easy question. That would be
quiet. You guys quiet. No talking. No talking to the guests. No communicating with you. I wonder if all adults make that transition. Do you think there's some adults who never make that? Like it's still about them. You're 40 years old and it's still, life's still about you.
Probably, yeah. I'm guessing there's some people out there still like that, but I find it hard how once you've had kids, I know that's definitely going to change something in me, and it's my existence going to be about making sure they're safe and making sure they get through life well.
It's funny. As soon as I said that, I thought of someone who's in their 60s who's still like that. and they're miserable. They're not happy. There's no happiness with that route.
No, yeah.
You have to make yourself smaller and smaller as you get older and older until you just disappear. And that's where all the happiness is.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy coming from someone who has to work so hard on themselves, right?
Yeah.
Meaning like you.
Being an athlete, you've definitely got to be selfish. You've got to say no to a lot of things. You've got to make sure you're in your prime position to perform as well as you can. And yeah, you've got to be selfish. But for me, I know that this is a period of my life right now, and it's not always going to be my life in 10, 15 years time. So I want to give it everything I've got now, because I know when I eventually have kids and they're older, I want to be able to say like, I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. And now I can sit back and just kind of nurture them and nurture them through life. And I think it's important you go through that. I think the parents that might be more inclined or might kind of spend more time themselves haven't really achieved what they want to achieve early in their life. I think if you're extremely happy and content of where you are and you've achieved what you want to achieve, you can easily transition over to bringing up kids and just giving your full attention towards them.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to be in.
When your dad approached you with telling you you're too big, could that have backfired?
Yeah, 100%. But I think deep down, I knew I wasn't happy with the way I looked. So it was more of a relief that someone said something, because then that was going to lead to a change. Whereas I think if he wouldn't have said anything, I definitely wouldn't have said anything. My mum wouldn't have said anything. So he was the only person who was going to say something. And yeah, I'm so glad he did. But it definitely could have.
Did you cry? Did you cry?
I can't remember the exact time he said it. I probably would have done, because it's the realization that you are not happy with how you look. It needs to change. It's a daunting thing to do when you're a kid as well. You're only 11, so you're not figuring everything out. You don't really know what your emotions feel like. I probably didn't know I was unhappy with the way I looked. But there was certain situations. I always remember this one story where I was sitting downstairs with the family. I had my top off. I was happy with my top off around my family. And my dad's friends came over. I could see them coming down the drive. So I quickly ran upstairs to get a top, and my dad pretty much brought me down and said, look, never be ashamed of how you look. You look fine the way you look. Keep your top off, and they're just going to come into the room. And I remember me like in hysterics, crying, thinking I can't let them see me with my top off. And that was a very kind of distinct moment in my memory that I've always remembered. And that's me being extremely unhappy with how I looked, probably without realizing how unhappy I was. So yeah.
I was in Malawi in this crazy village. And I was hanging out there for a few days, and there was this kid that I had made friends with. I think they might have the largest freshwater lake in Africa there.
Right.
And I think I was on that lake, and the village was on that lake. So as far as villages go, it was pretty prosperous.
Yeah.
But none of the homes there had electricity except for one, where the village elder lived. And I remember I ended up buying this kid a bike in the village, and it made him middle class because he turned his bike into a taxi. So then you would sit on that back rack, and he would pedal dudes around. And when I bought him the bike, he pedaled me around for like 3 days and showed me all over. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But those dudes always had their shirts off, and they had the nicest bodies I had ever seen. All the dudes in that village, and they were all fishermen. They pulled nets, so you could only imagine their biceps and their back, right? Their back, they pulled nets in the lake all fucking day. It was crazy, their bodies. And I was talking to one of the kids one time, or to one of the adults there one time. He was talking about how he wanted to move to the United States. And I started thinking, man, in the United States, people will buy a house and take a 30-year loan, work every day from when they're 30 to when they're 60 to pay off that house. And then they own that house, and then their life's over. Or it could be over, especially if they didn't take care of themselves. And it's like the dream.
Yeah.
But really, and I don't mean to not be thankful for all the stuff that I have, but really the dream, if you're a man, is to do what Rich Froning does. Just never put on your shirt. Just to never fucking put on your shirt. It really is. It is. Now at 50 years old, I'm like, that is there's nothing. I mean, isn't that great? Just never having to put on your shirt.
Yeah, it's amazing how life comes around. When I was a kid, I never wanted to be seen with my top off ever. And pretty much 8% of my day, my top's off. Yeah,
it's like a chore to put on your shirt. It's like there's nothing better than to break your first sweat and take your clothes off and work out, right?
Yeah, it's a great feeling. Or like if you go to like a commercial gym just for a change and you have to train with your top on.
Yeah,
it just feels so weird.
Have you been kicked out of a gym with your shirt off?
No, I wouldn't take my top off in a gym outside a CrossFit box.
I don't even take my shirt off when I'm at home. I'm like you. Imagine how you are as an 11-year-old boy. Like I have to be hurt. You know what I mean? I have to be 40 minutes into a workout that I wish I would have never started before I take my shirt off. I have to not be me.
There's always people in the gym where they're either extremely hot or they're in a very deep hole if they've got their top off.
Yeah, I'd be that guy.
For no reason.
Yeah, you're just like you're trying to lighten the squat even by one wet shirt.
Make those handstand presses a bit lighter.
Yeah. The years that are you happy even the years you don't go to the games? Are you hard on yourself?
I'm a super laid back guy, and I think I overcome setbacks quite well. So like 2019, I was super bummed out for a couple of days after that, and I remember that was week 3, and I still had 2 weeks left, and I remember thinking, right, and my games are gone for this year. There's no way I can recover from coming 168th, but I very quickly said, right, I want to do so well in these last 2 events that people know it was only that one event that cost me the game spot. And I came back and I got a first and a second. So I very quickly had a sulk for a couple of days, but then turned it around and wanted to make a big finish to that open. Same with 2020, when I found out that was a very long process of not knowing if I was going to the games or not. I was national champ for a UK, but then also top 30 in the world. So I kind of qualified both ways. So at the start, I was thinking, right, national champs aren't going, but I'm still top 30 in the Open. So hopefully I still get to go through that way. And then it went from 30 to only the top 20 going through to the online stage. So I was like,
sucks.
I was 5 spots out. So again, I remember very, very clearly, I was having dinner with Sam, and we specifically said, right, no phones tonight. Let's just enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
And my phone was going mental, just like absolutely ping, 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 ping. And I was like, babe, I need to have a look at this. I don't know what's going on. And it was people finding out that I wasn't going to the games because they were only taking the top 20.
And you were on suicide watch? They're like, are you okay, Zach? Are you okay?
I wasn't as bad as the people around me. The people around me, my friends, they were fuming. And I was like, well, it's out of my control. If I get arsey and upset about it, then that's not going to change the situation. It is what it is. They've made their choice. That's it. But yeah, I remember people around me were going mental. Like, there must be something we can do, like blah, blah, blah. And again, after a couple of days of just letting it all digest, I was like, right, I've probably got 3 months of the year back where I would just be purely focusing on training for the games. So let's go crush some things. I wrote a book about my journey and about goal setting, things like that. We did a lot of work for sponsors. So I just try and turn any setback into a positive and try and turn it around and not just dwell on what's happened, because that's not going to change anything. That's not going to change the situation. So yeah, just try and put it behind me and look forward and set new goals for that year. And then at the end of 2020, I could look back and say, look, we've achieved X, Y, and Z, all because I didn't go to the games. And it makes it less painful that I didn't get to compete. Yeah.
Is your gym successful?
Yeah, we have a great community. That's one of the best things about a CrossFit box, and what separates CrossFit itself from any other types of fitness, in my eyes, is the community that the box brings. Like the quarterfinals, when I've got all the people around me, I have like a guy called Ben who basically takes every bit of stress out of my...
Is that the blonde dude I see in the videos? He's your friend and manager of the gym, or no?
So no, not my manager. No, he's James. We've got Dan Wagner. You probably see a lot in the videos. He's my training partner. My business partner is Harmeet, and then Ben is a blonde dude, blonde hair, and he basically looks after all my like filming, making sure all the standards are being met, making sure the layouts are right. He'll read all the information given by CrossFit to make sure we hit every standard going.
You need one of those guys. Whoo, the pressure on him.
Yeah, 100%.
Ooh,
there's just so many kind of things that CrossFit put out there that can easily like trip you up, or like the handstand press up one. You weren't allowed to wear gymnastic grips for the lunges.
Okay.
So like little tips like that, if you're holding 2 dumbbells for a lot of reps for lunges, if you wear your gymnastic grips, they act as like a hook, so it just relieves your grip a little bit better. But he spotted that and said, like, you can't wear gymnastic grips, which is those little things where I probably wouldn't have noticed if it was just me, because I'm thinking about how I'm going to perform this workout, what I'm going to do, what's my strategy. So it's great having someone like that. And he helps massively. So yeah, I think any athlete who does the Open, does quarterfinals, knows it's a team effort. It's not just you who's putting in the work. There's a lot of people around you that help you achieve what you achieve.
And the name of the gym is Be Fitter.
It's called CrossFit BFG. So it stands for Big Friendly Giant.
Oh yes, like the movie, like the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's one of those movies that might even be better than the book. There's actually 2 versions. Have you seen both versions of BFG?
I've not seen the new one, no.
Oh, it's so good. It's crazy. It's a technological miracle. My kids watch it. I actually, the first time I saw that, Greg Glassman actually pulled me aside and said, hey, you got to watch this movie. And we watched it together. And I was like, holy cow, you're right. It's a technological miracle.
Yeah. I'll have to give it a watch. Yeah,
it's nuts. So and the reason why I ask, and do you have a modeling career, an active modeling career?
No, I do a lot of shoots for sponsors. So like My Protein or G-Shock, things like that. But yeah, I've never been like a fashion model or anything like that.
Are you still sponsored by G-Shock?
Yeah.
What a crazy brand. I mean, that is like, That's such an amazing brand.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I've got any pictures of when I was a kid. You know that picture you brought up when I was wearing the snapback and the poolside? I think I was wearing a G-Shock then.
Yeah.
I've
And how long have they been a sponsor?
2 years now, I think.
Yeah, the congratulations. Here's where I was going with that. You appear to have a lot of and don't I want to come back and circle around to Harmeet too. He's a
Yeah.
trippy cat. I got some questions about this guy. How do you meet how does anyone get a Harmeet in their life? Uh you have, it looks like you have really good sponsors. It looks like you have a very good family. It looks like you have an amazing girlfriend. It looks like you have a successful, fun gym. You're extremely good looking. I wonder if this mitigates. You have a good life, right? And like some people might be like, well, inside I'm really hurting, but you're not. Like we're really seeing Zack George is like, you're enjoying your time on planet Earth.
Yeah, 100%. I'm very much kind of open. I say how I feel.
Yeah, you're crazy open. You're
Yeah.
crazy open. Other people think that they're open. You're crazy open.
Yeah, I hope that's a good thing. But
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. It sets you free.
yeah, I think that's
You glide because of it.
I think that's why a lot of people have really enjoyed my story and enjoyed supporting me over the years, is because I am what you see. So I'm exactly the same to anyone. You could be a celebrity, you could be someone I've met for the first time. I'm just exactly the same to anyone I speak to. So I think that really came out in 2018. So at the regionals, I basically went to the regionals just wanting to have an awesome time. And it was a bad strategy as an athlete wanting to place well, but I wouldn't change it for the world, because I just had the best time with all my family and my friends. That's when I did the floss on the floor. The floss dance. So I just did that after every event, and that just went viral, and people just caught on it and loved it. I remember there's a very famous story. Do you know Will Kane? He's a good British athlete.
I don't. Is he a CrossFitter or some other discipline?
He's a CrossFit. Yeah, he's been to regionals probably 6-7 times.
Okay.
So this was my first year at regionals. I was next to lane of Will Kane. He's been regionals probably 4 times before, and it was the I don't know if you remember the workout, the ring muscle up, handstand ramp, and pistol workout. It was the first year they brought in the handstand ramp.
Okay.
And so the workout was 12.
Yes.
Yeah, 12 ring muscle ups. You did the handstand ramp, up the ramp, down the stairs. Then you had another ramp. You went up the stairs, down the ramp. And then there he is. And then you did X amount of pistols. And then you did the handstand ramp back. And then you did the ring muscle ups. It was 3 rounds. So I initially thought the workout was rings, handstand ramp, do your pistols, and then run back to the rings. So you didn't do the handstand walks on the way back.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even do a handstand ramp anyway. So the workout was bad for me at the start. And I remember standing next to Will. And again, I'm super laid back. I'm like, hey, Will, are you going to run back or are you going to walk back from the pistols? And he was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, do you know when you've done your pistols, are you going to run back or use it as a rest? And he's like, dude, you've got a handstand ramp back as well. I'm like, this workout's just instantly got twice as hard. And then they're like, 3, 2, 1, go. And then the workout starts. So that just sums up my regionals of just having a blast and just absolutely loving it.
You met Dave. You have a lot of good photos with a lot of cool people in there. You met Dave Castro. How was that?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was at an event at WIT a couple of years ago. That was super cool. I had a brief chat with him. Yeah, that was a really good experience to meet someone in that level of the sport.
Did you get a good impression from him?
Yeah, nice? I spoke to him for maybe 30 seconds. We did a workout. I think it was 20.
He didn't do one of these. You went to shake his hand and he went like this. He didn't do that to you?
No, luckily not. I think I'd just finished a workout, so I was feeling pretty pumped. So, it was 21:59 dumbbell snatch burpees over dumbbell. It's when they did the pre-workout before the open, I think it was. And then he was like, "Oh, well done, dude. You crushed that." It was a very brief chat, and it was a great experience.
Have you ever met Noah?
Yeah, Noah. I met Noah a couple of times. Yeah, really cool dude. Really like Noah.
Yeah, have you trained with him?
No, never got to train with him. I'd love to. But we've spoken on social media a few times. But yeah, he's someone I've looked up to as an athlete for many years, and he's someone I watched at the games before I got into it. So yeah, it's cool to be able to compete alongside those dudes.
Because you're kind of cut from the same cloth as him. He's got a lot of the same vibe you got. He's easy as shit to hang with. He's really cool. He's really cool.
Yeah, just super chilled out. It would be great to compete with him because his movement speed would just be literally triple mine. It'd be like, oh wow, hard to keep up.
Yeah, there was something you said that made me something you said that reminded me of Noah. I can't remember exactly what it was, but do you ever plan on coming to the States to do any training? Or
yeah, I'd love to. It's obviously not been able to travel for the last kind of couple of years, but it's definitely something that I wanted to do, and I would love to. There's a couple of American dudes that I speak to on social media that I'd love to just go out for a couple of weeks and just hang with them and see how they train and just kind of get out your normal training bubble would be awesome.
Yeah, I think that whole training think tank group.
Yeah,
there's just some great guys in there.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm very different as well because I program for myself. I'm not part of like a training program so at things like quarterfinals you really feel it because you've got no one to bounce workout scores of. You have no idea. I literally have no idea what anyone else is doing because I just do it for myself. So you definitely feel that sometimes when you're doing these sort of like qualification rounds is that you've got no one really to bounce, no really good scores to bounce off to see if you've got a good time or not.
I heard you talking about that. So obviously we know some of the people who've programmed for themselves in the past. We know Rich Froning programmed for himself. We know Matt Fraser programmed for himself. Is that why? Well, let me say one more thing. And then I heard you say in an interview that like it's really important. One of the things that's really important about you programming for yourself is you being honest with yourself and talking to yourself. And one of the things you talked about is that you can clean, you can not do cleans for a while and clean 300 pounds, no problem. Like it doesn't go away. But if you don't train your muscle ups on the regular at the regiment that you need to, those will go away.
Yeah.
But what other reasons are there? Why don't you get a coach? Do you feel and do you ever feel like you're being dishonest with yourself?
No, because I've got such a good strong team around me. It's not like I don't listen to anyone. I've got people like my training partner. He used to work for British weightlifting, now works for British Athletics. So he's got a very good understanding of training and adaptation and what you need to do, strength and conditioning, things like that. And I've got probably 3 or 4 people around me like that who are very good in their field. Like I've got a swimming coach. So I have coaching in areas of CrossFit that I know nothing about, which do help. But I just really love programming. I love fitness gymnastics. That's what I love doing pretty much all the time. And like you said, lifting for me is never really a priority. For me, it's more about getting as mobile as I can and making my technique as good as possible. Because like I said, if I don't lift for 2 months, I know I'll always be able to power clean 160 no matter what. I've just got that natural strength. Whereas if I don't do strict handstand press ups for a month, my max will probably drop down to 15, 20. So I've got a very good understanding of my body, but then I've got a very good team around me that I listen to for different areas as well. So yeah, again, it's a big team effort. It's not just like I've got my blinkers on, I only listen to what I program.
It's kind of like Miko also, he would, and I saw you met Miko Salo also when we went out and visited him in Finland. The only place he could have a rower was in the closet. And he punished himself there. He would go into that closet full of all, filled to the gills with old antiques, and he would close the door and row in there, for an hour on the reg.
Miko said that always sticks into my head. It was something about you never lie on your back after, like an animal only lies on its back when it's dead or something.
Yeah.
Do you remember saying that?
Yeah. He said that when I went and filmed him out in not Cookville. When I went and filmed him out in Finland. What was the name of his town? Sushi? Whatever. Yeah, he said that. He told us, I never lie down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's bullshit. The best part for me working out is lying down and watching my breath. But okay. That's why you go to the games and I don't.
That's always a phrase that sticks in my mind. But they're the videos that I just got hooked on when I got into CrossFit. So I found CrossFit in 2013. So I massively binge watched like 2012, 11, 10, 9, all those CrossFit Games era. So you got your Cleapers, obviously Dan Bailey, Bridges, like thrown in, Mika Salo, and just all the old school, like Graham Holmberg.
He was a savage.
Yeah. So I kind of grew up, that's like my early years of CrossFit, and that's what I grew up watching. And it's amazing now you've got young kids who are at the box and I train with regularly, and they don't know about that sort of years of CrossFit, because you're now getting the new generation coming through. And it makes you feel old in the sport when you say those names and some of the young kids don't know who they are.
I remember Kerry Peterson and I walked into Graham Holmberg's gym one time, and he's like, "Oh," and we're like, "Hey, Graham, can we film you, make a video?" And he goes, "Yeah, what do you want me to do?" And I can't remember if it was myself or Kerry. We go double Fran.
Oh.
And it was kind of like hard to even say that to someone, right? Especially back then. It was like hard to say. It's like almost like you hate them, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Okay." And he set up the bar and just demolished it.
Really?
And we were like, I was like, oh my God, this guy is out of control. And every time we went out there, he would do something crazy like that for us for video.
Yeah.
Man, he was so cool. All those guys would.
Yeah.
All those guys back in the day. Miko would do crazy shit. Rich would do all sorts of crazy shit for us. And he would do it with his team too. Elijah Muhammad would be there and he'd be doing crazy shit with Rich.
I remember the videos of them in that. I can't remember what gym it was, but
Tennessee Tech. Tech.
Easy was just coming up. And the difference from then to like now is just crazy.
Yeah.
That was getting into it, wasn't it?
It was nuts. It was a crazy time. And I think it was a crazy time. I wonder if and even when we would visit Rob Orlando, he would do all the guys back then would do crazy.
He was strong.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
And mad stuff.
Do you have is there an exit strategy? Is there a plan for like, or do you have plans now to have kids at some point? Do you have plans to train athletes to go to the games? Do you do you have plans to help? I mean, what's also I love about your Instagram is, especially early on, there's tons of weight loss stories. You can tell that you really care about people, and there's tons. It's just full of transformational stories. What is the plan post CrossFit, or do you just stay in it forever? Do you just start doing masters when you're 35?
Yeah, so I want to, like, at the minute, I'm making a lot of sacrifices to get to the games. And over the next couple of years, I still want to compete, and I still want to compete to a high level, but I won't necessarily make the sacrifice I am now to do that. I'll probably, like, having kids now would be tough, a tough stage while still trying to get to the games. Whereas over the next couple of years, I wanna definitely have kids. So maybe having a couple of months of sleepless nights, I'm not going to be as annoyed about it, because I know that's part of the process. Whereas if that happens now, I know I'll be thinking, right, I'm not getting my recovery. This is going to affect my training. I'll be having these sort of mental thoughts. So yeah, I want to kind of a real big year this year, real big year next year, and then start to have a family and start to raise some kids. I think I always loved the business side, not just in fitness, in anything. So I want to get into property a lot more. That's something I really want to kind of delve into, and just do as much work for sponsors as I can, and I think do a few more competitions that are going to be more fun. So maybe do some more like team stuff, just stuff that you can do with your box, and just get a couple of guys from the gym. So, hey, this competition looks cool in Spain. Should we go have a holiday and do this competition? I think I don't really want to do that now, because I know that's gonna upset my training leading up to the games and leading to semis. So you don't really want to do that stuff now. But I think it'd be really cool in a couple of years to be able to do those things and not worry about it's going to have a detriment effect to my training season. So I think, just be a bit more lighthearted with it all, and be a bit more flexible, and do a few other things that I'm saying no to right now.
Do you have any stress around, or any thoughts on what's going on with civilization as a whole? I don't know exactly what it's like in the UK, but I'm guessing it's pretty fucked up because you're a Western country like we are. We're going through like a whole revamping of civilization here in the United States. It's like the dumbest people ever are in charge right now. And so it's causing the smarter people, I think, to wake up and be like, okay, shit, we'll go do some shit. And by I mean dumbest, I mean dishonest and illogical. Like like no, we have women competing in men's sports in the United States, and
Yeah.
there at least needs to be a civil discussion about it. There needs to be like like you can't just do it. There has to
Yeah.
be some, like all the people who have daughters. I just wonder, like, hey, what are they thinking now? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like there's a very small minority that's kind of like running away with the direction civilization is going, and it's like, whoa, you need to chill out. Did you feel that? And then you have the war over there kind of close to you too. Those people
Yeah.
fighting in the Ukraine.
Yeah. It's
Is
all
there
crazy.
any?
I think it's you've got to be aware of what's going on, and you've got to know what's going on and have your thoughts and your understanding of what's happening. But then I also think you can't let it bog you down, and you can't let it kind of rule your mental headspace. I think if you can be a part of something and you know you can make a change, then great, do it. But if you're in a position where what you say or what you think is not going to have effect on anything, then try not to let it take too much headspace up. Just be aware of what's going on around you. Be aware of what people are going through around the world, but don't
Yeah,
let it kind of get you down every single day, because that's not going to change anything. That's not going to change the outcome of anything. I think as long as your family's safe and you're bringing them up to how you think they should be thinking, if that makes sense, and
yeah. You're sounding very wise. You're
and
sounding
if you
very wise.
educate them and you tell them what's going on, you tell them both sides of the story, and you talk to them and you say what do you think about this, then I think if you live like that, then I think you're doing pretty well. I think there's a lot of people out there that it is obviously sad what's going on. It's crazy what the stage the world's going in, but just thinking about it every single day or being bogged down on watching the news every single day, it's not going to be good for your mental health, and that's going to spill over to your family's mental health, and that's not going to be
Yeah.
good. So I think you've got to be aware of what's going on, but then you've also got to live your life, and you've got to, you've just got to keep your heads up.
Yeah, it's interesting. If the state of affairs in the world are making it so you're hugging your kids or your family or your friends or you're loving on your family less, then you're fucking up.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, hey, stop paying. Like you're not contributing to that mess over there. At
Yeah,
least the bare minimum is that you should be spreading love amongst your cohort. That's
yeah,
kind of how I
exactly.
heard what you said. Yeah, handle your village.
Yeah, exactly. Get your family unit tight, get them healthy, get them mentally strong, and then start worrying about what's going on. And if you can make a change, then great. Think about the ways you can make a change, but just make sure your tight knit units kind of safe, healthy, and mentally strong.
As when you were a boy and you started losing weight, do you remember the moment when you started liking your body more? Like you're like, oh
Yeah,
my God, I'm going to go to the pool today and take off my shirt.
yeah, 100%. I remember it very well. I remember me and my mum went shopping for a whole new wardrobe because all my clothes didn't fit anymore.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a very vivid moment. And I also remember there was a stage of about a year at school where I went from being the overweight kid to now the sporty kid who ate very well and had the best body. And I really enjoyed that transition of people seeing me going from the overweight kid to now the healthy kid. And it was a really nice experience to go through. But yeah, the one moment that really sticks in my head is 100% going shopping for new clothes, because all my old clothes were too big.
It's interesting. There's this belief that you shouldn't like people for superficial reasons, and like, but I couldn't disagree more with that. I think that it's not the only reason why you should like people, but why would, if you're married to the wisest, smartest, kindest man in the world, but he's 150 pounds overweight and smokes cigarettes, fuck that. Like fuck that. He's gonna, when he dies at 50, when you wheel him around and have to wipe his ass from when he's 55 to 65, he's gonna make you miserable. And he obviously doesn't care about you enough to take care of himself to be a good example for you. And I think that it sounds like you were rewarded by the love and adoration of your peers as you lost weight and became more physically capable around them. You became more attractive to them. You probably became more confident. Were you always nice? Did you ever go through an asshole stage? Did you ever get stuck up? Like, oh, look at me now.
No, definitely
No.
no. That's not who I am. I'm always kind of well grounded, and never
And
really
you're
changed.
and would you reach out to the kid? Would you try to help the other kids who you saw were going through what you went through?
Yeah, I'd always be the one who kind of stick up for people. If I see someone picking on someone, then I'd always be the one that kind of stand up and say, look, stop doing that. Yeah,
like if you saw me picking on some fat kid, you'd be like, hey, nose, pipe down over there.
Yeah, 100%. Say, come on, let's leave it out now. But yeah, I think that's definitely what helped me get into personal training, because me going through that journey of weight loss and knowing how it feels to be an overweight kid and not enjoying your body, to how it feels when you've lost the weight, is a great feeling. So I think that's what led me going into personal training, because I wanted to help as many people as I could and give as many people that experience that I've had.
You know, most men go into personal training to meet women. I'm convinced. 99.999%.
They just have that stigma, 100%.
I mean, that's why Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook. It's not even like a joke. Like that's why.
Yeah. That's the what's the film? Social Network.
Yeah, to hopefully get laid. Do you remember the first girls liking you? As you changed, do you remember like getting attention from girls and being like, "What is that girl okay? Has she not seen me?
Are you feeling all right?"
Yeah.
No, I can't remember the exact time it would have been. No. But yeah, no, not really.
Are you being that you were a chunky kid, are you, if girls hit on you, are you oblivious to it? Or are you very sensitive to it?
I don't know. I don't think, I I am how I am with everyone. So that might be betrayed of, you might be flirting with someone, or I don't know, but you can always tell if someone's kind of interesting you when you're going into school. Obviously people talk, if a girl likes you or not. And I think as you get older, you settle down with people, and that becomes less of a thing, doesn't it? But yeah, when you're at school,
does it? I don't know. Like, you hang out in an environment that's like, I mean, it's just beautiful people running around and pheromones and just shit. I mean, even the ugly people in the gym are attractive. I mean, to the outside world. I ask because when you have kind of low self-esteem isn't that's not the exact word. It's more specific than that. But when you don't find yourself attractive, you can't even fathom other people finding you attractive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're just kind of like, why would anyone want to put their hands on this body?
There definitely would have been a shift or a difference of how women would have seen me, definitely. But
Yeah.
I can't remember it as such.
And man.
And man, yeah.
Do you get hit on by a lot of men?
The weirdest thing I get on social media is for armpit pictures.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I wonder if that means I'm gay. I'm into armpits too, not dudes' armpits, but I'm always fascinated by the girls' arm. This whole section on crossfitting women's bodies crazy, because I'm just not used to seeing the lats. You know what I mean? And just all that, even after 15 years of being in it. Wow. So dudes like looking at your armpits.
Yeah, really strange.
Yeah, I'm not into dudes' armpits.
Yeah.
That might be good.
Strange.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I think that's a testament to how good looking you are. If you're just like sort of good looking, just girls like you. If you're like really good looking, then dudes like you. You kind of transcend the whole. You transcend it all.
Yeah.
When did your gym get closed, and how did you deal with that? Can you kind of walk me through the COVID shit?
Yeah, our gym was closed for, I can't remember. We had so many in and outs of lockdowns. Probably closed for best part of a year. And then
how did you survive that?
So we were really fortunate in the UK. We got grants from the government. So they gave us grants. If you're in hospitality or retail, you got grants which kind of covered all your rent. And you got business rates relief, which is really helpful as well. So I think if we didn't have any of that support, it would have been like so many gyms when other business would have closed down.
So you guys did the same thing we did. You just your government printed shitloads of money.
Yeah, massively. Okay. Yeah, and then we did online Zoom classes. So I don't actually coach, but we've got two coaches and Harmeet, and we did Zoom classes for people as well. So we had a good core of people who stayed with us and paid for the memberships all the way through, and that massively helped as well. And then we just put Zoom classes on for the members to do whilst they're at home.
Do you have to pay that money back that you got from your government?
No.
Just,
we'll be paying it back in taxes at some point, yeah, but
for sure,
not directly the grants back, no.
Yeah, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
was it frustrating for you? Like did you ever get angry, or were you chill
Yeah,
through that
not
too?
really, just more, just more frustration of that. We went into lockdown for a long period of time, then we came out, and then we closed again, and we probably did that, I think, 2 or 3 times maybe, closing the gym, open up again. But it was a frustrating time for everyone. Everyone was feeling the same. It was a very rare occasion where the whole world was going through the same thing. So we just had to kind of pull together and get through it all together.
In the US, a lot of people pushed back. But when I see what's going on in like Australia or the UK or Canada, I feel like and I have no truth to this except the media. I feel like less people push back. Like there's more of a acceptance from Big Brother. Do you think that that's true? That the UK was more accepting of the rules?
Yeah, I think in the UK, yeah, we kind of we followed them definitely to start with. I think everyone did because it was just like it was all like, oh my god, what's going on? But then I think as the months went on, then it was a year and a half. People, you definitely saw more people.
This guy doesn't think I'm telling the truth. He says no, not true. Good. That makes me happy. I'm glad I'm wrong.
I think you definitely saw more people who were like, no, we're not listening to this anymore because it's been a year and a half now and we're still in the same position. So I think at the start, everyone was like, yeah, okay, we need to do this. But then as you went through the time, I think definitely people were sort of kind of saying, hey, no, like, I don't think we're going to take that advice. So yeah, you definitely saw it as the time went on.
We have police officers and people who are stepping up who would make videos and be like, hey, I'm not arresting anyone for this and this. Fuck
Oh,
you.
really?
It's against our constitution. Did you have like
No,
what are your police? They're called bobbies. Did you have any like people like start doing that? Where they would be
no,
like,
not to
no.
my level. No, definitely no. Never. That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, okay. See, look it. So it is true. See, now what?
He's saying no, not true.
Uh yeah, he's saying he lives in London and a lot of people were pushing back.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be anti-vaccine to not want the injection, by the way. I think that's
Oh,
propaganda.
that's true. Yeah, there was a lot of anti-vaccine marches in London. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think you can not. I think I can not want to be raped and not be anti-sex. I love sex, but I just don't want to be held down and dry humped. I would
Yeah,
prefer to be dry humped than raped.
a lot of people had that standpoint. I think they weren't specifically anti-vaxxers. There's just
Yeah,
not enough research for them to want this vaccine, and I
yeah,
think that got blurred lines between being an anti-vaxxer and then just not wanting this specific one.
yeah, and it was extremely frustrating to hear Boris Johnson tell the people of your country and the world that they're better. It's too hard to lose weight and exercise, and they're better off getting the shot. Did you hear
Yeah,
him say that?
yeah,
He should be taken out to I don't know, Trafalgar Square and put in one of those things with the wood where they put your head and your hands through and let people throw tomatoes at them. You cannot tell people not to work out. This is
when it can have benefit.
fucking nuts. Yeah, this is absolutely. I mean, we come up from there was a time, not even that long ago where people were working out all day every day. By that I mean getting food, water,
Yeah,
just basic survival
big,
skills.
big importance to life and people's health and mental health.
But yeah, huge, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Crazy mental. You don't have any tattoos?
No tattoos. No, I've always.
Yeah, me neither. What's wrong with us?
I'm just scared. I wouldn't enjoy it in years to come, and I'd want to get rid of it.
You know what I'm thinking about doing is if my kids do anything stupid, like get like a big old piercing in their ear or one in their nose, or I'm gonna do something crazy too. If
Yeah,
my kids do, I'm gonna get like Thug Life tattooed on my stomach and a fucking teardrop. If they do something stupid, I'll match your shit. Okay, I'm gonna get a fucking dick tattooed on my forehead because no one wants their parents doing dumb shit, right?
yeah.
So if my kid comes home and he's like does something dumb, then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna match you. You're gonna put one of those big old earrings, gauges, and okay, me too. I'm gonna pierce my fucking tongue and tie a chain from it to the tip of my penis. You know what I mean? I think that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah. So no, do you think maybe you would get one when you were 70? I was thinking when I was 70. No,
not for me. I think it'd have to be extremely meaningful for me to get a tattoo. Yeah. That's not gonna outdate, or I'm not gonna go off it.
What about those fake tattoos? Just like, do you ever do those like on Halloween? Like
I used to do them as a kid, yeah, with like fancy dresses, to have fake tattoos everywhere.
I get the when Conor McGregor fights, you can go online. It's a little expensive, but for $40 you can buy the whole Conor McGregor kit, and I put it on my boy. Or like I last week I did on my old 7-year-old, I did the whole Tupac kit on him, like, and it stays for like a week. And then I
Really?
take him to the beach and he's got Thug Life and all the Tupac tattoos and
That's pretty
guns.
cool. That's definitely something I would have done as a kid.
Oh,
Definitely.
dude, it's so, you would look great with the Tupac kit. You should look it up. You would look amazing.
We'll do that for the next one.
Do you still have the PlayStation 2?
Nah, that's long gone now, I'm afraid.
Oh.
We're on PS5 now, isn't it? So I don't have a PlayStation anymore, but yeah.
Who has time for that? Do you play video games?
No, I've not played them since I was 16, 17. It's just something I kind of, just grew out of, I think.
Yeah, I don't do video games either. UFC fighters do video games.
Yeah, the people just watch people play video games on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy. You know who I'm going to have on? Do you know who Nick Palladino is?
No.
He used to train with Matt Fraser. He was that teen that had like a 300-pound snatch.
Oh, the super strong guy. Yeah.
And now I think he's become a Twitch star. Do you know what Twitch is? It's so people watch people play video games. Yeah, so he's coming on the show. I can't wait to see how you go from being a CrossFitter to a Twitch star.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
You have an agent. People can't contact you directly. They have to go through Jamie.
Yeah, James.
Yeah,
super close to James. He's been manager for maybe 2 years now. And it's amazing to have someone in your corner that you trust so wholly, and you can trust with him to handle all your affairs. And yeah, it's great. And super close to me. He's like a big brother.
Did you find him, or did he find you?
He approached me after Strength in Depth in 2019, and got on well ever since.
Does he have any other clients, CrossFitting clients?
Yeah, he has loads.
So that's his thing. Does he have any non-CrossFitting clients?
He has some musicians as well. So he has like a broad range of people on his roster, which is nice. Not just like in the CrossFit space.
Yeah, you need that so you can get into like free concerts and shit. You want an agent who has like a NASCAR guy, F1 guy, a CrossFitter. So he's like, oh, do you want to come to the Guns N' Roses concert? Come on.
Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly get my charger because my battery's running low.
I know you're going to pee. It's okay. You're allowed to pee on this show. Go ahead, pee.
I'm getting my charger. 1 sec.
Go. Yes, get it. You guys stop with the bats. We don't do bats. Andrew Hiller is not here. He's not allowed to watch the show anymore. I texted him last night and said, you're not allowed to watch my show. And I had YouTube block his IP. Do not stop with the bats. When do bats? He said he had 3 midget. Did he? I was already looking at the next question. I wasn't giving it my... No, musicians. I heard musicians. I heard musicians. Sevan needs 3 teardrop tattoos. I almost can't even handle my beard anymore, let alone a tattoo.
We're back.
You had asthma as a kid and allergies.
Yeah, I'm allergic to so many things.
That shit's not gone?
No, I have like training induced asthma now. Not massively.
Do you wheeze? Like you train and then you'll hear a little whistle when you breathe?
Yeah. If I'm around like I'm really allergic to like dogs, cats, horses. So if I'm around any sort of dog for quite a while, then I go to train, I get like big asthmatic symptoms. Allergic to all different types of nuts, penicillin, hay fever, prawns, shellfish, just loads of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, list goes on.
What is your mom Jewish?
Jewish? No.
Yeah. No. Oh, okay.
Why?
I just heard you say no shellfish. When I think of no shellfish, I just think of Jews. I don't think Jews are allowed to eat shellfish, or they're not allowed to eat shit that if it walk. They got like something like they're not allowed to eat shit that walks on the bottom of the ocean. I think my wife's Jewish. Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Learn something new every day.
Maybe you are Jewish and you don't know it. That's their way. Maybe you are.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Tony Robbins seminar really quick one more time. You went to the Tony Robbins seminar and they talk about nutrition there?
Yeah, it was all sorts. So there was like different sections. So one was like motivation. One was like just general like mental health and just general health. Another one was nutrition. And I think it was called something empowering the soul within or something like that. And the whole weekend ended on walking on, do you know when you walk on like hot coals? So the whole weekend was building up to that event at the end, and that was like the big finale that everyone did. And I just remember, yeah, it was such a life-changing experience. And we were there for 3 days, I think it was, at the Exxon Arena in Birmingham. And there were long days. There were like 9 to 5 every day, and there was hundreds and hundreds of people there. And it was such an empowering weekend. And yeah, it was what really kickstart us our kind of our family health kick. And we got home, chucked away all the junk food, ate a lot
Wow.
less. Yeah, ate a lot less junk food then, but I was still having like crisps and chocolates in the week. And yeah, we all just went on a massive health kick. And it was it was a great experience.
And I wonder if your parents did that, if that was a component of helping you specifically.
I think it was for everyone. That wasn't specifically
Okay.
just for me. It was my dad knew he wanted to go on it because it'd be good for him. It'd be
Yeah.
great for my sister, great for me, great for my mum. And yes, it wasn't just me who benefited from that weekend. The whole family came away with a new perspective on life and wanting more from each other. Yeah, and it was such a great experience. And then my sister went on to do several other courses. I think she went to America and did like a more intense week with him, and I think it was only about 10 other people. So yeah, it was a massive life-changing experience.
Did you ever smoke weed?
No, I've never smoked ever.
No. Did you never smoke the tobacco nicotine either?
No.
Did you ever chew?
Nope. Oh no, yeah. Oh, when you see people chew, horrible.
I was thinking about smoking weed the other day. I drove by a dispensary and I thought it said, it was like, it's by my house. It says Cannabis Artist Coalition or something. And then I was like, I wonder if I could go in there if I was just an artist, but I didn't smoke cannabis. Or do you have to do both? And then I started thinking, the coolest people, I don't know anyone who makes it in the top 10 coolest people I know who's addicted to alcohol or marijuana. Like, I don't know any, I know a lot of people smoke marijuana, like a lot of people, and I don't mean this as like a dig at them.
Yeah.
But the coolest people I know are straight.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they used to smoke. But like, I don't know anyone who smokes 10 times a day who I'm like, man, I really like that dude. I wish I was like him.
Yeah, and that's never something that's been in my circle of friends or family, really. So it's not really something I've come across or it's ever been in my sort of path of being friends with a lot of people who smoke that sort of stuff. So yeah,
I find addiction unattractive.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And I don't find very many things unattractive. I don't even find obesity unattractive, which is kind of weird.
Wow.
But I guess I find the addiction to food is unattractive.
Yeah, I think it depends on the level of addiction. I think everyone's slightly addicted to certain things. It's just
for sure
how intense that addiction is.
For sure.
But yeah.
Do you ever get up at night? It's 10 or you come home, you're done working out and you're like, nope, it's 10 o'clock. Like you think you're going to bed and you're like, nope, I'm going back to the gym and I'm going to run 5 miles
Nope. I just literally, I'd have my training times, have my crew that I train with. And then as soon as I'm at the gym at home, I try and kind of get away from that sort of gym environment because that's what you're with. That's what you're doing the majority of the day. I think now especially this time of the season, when I'm getting home, I'm making sure I'm using my hypervolt and things like that to speed up my recovery. But I never really have the urge to go back to the gym and do more because that would be detrimental as well to your training as well. You have your structured training plan for that day. You do it, you take it off, and then anything extra, you kind of just hindering what you're going to do the next day. So yeah, just get home, just try to relax, watch some TV, and just make sure recovery is as best as possible.
I agree. Coffee is addictive. It's one of the most frustrating things. If I don't drink coffee, I have a headache. So every time I try to quit coffee, I have to because I try to quit
yourself
coffee.
off.
Yeah, I have to wean myself.
Yeah,
I have to go down to 1 cup, then half a cup, then a quarter cup, and then I still. Yeah, I agree. It's unattractive. Yes, but Paper Street coffee. Yes, Paper Street coffee. Of course, that's the coffee I drink. Zach, I really appreciate you coming on and let me play around in your brain, letting us ask a bunch of questions.
It's been awesome. It's amazing how quick hour and a half goes.
Yeah, that's what I tell my wife. She goes, "That was only 2 minutes." I go, "No, that was an hour and a half. That was an hour and a half." No, it's not. I'm not interviewing her. It's something else we do. But she always claims it's only 2 minutes. I'm like, no, that was an hour and a half. Tell your team thank you. If you don't follow Zack George, you should. It's a very uplifting account. He's extremely positive, man, and you're such a good role model. Thanks for being you, and thanks for sharing your wisdom on the show today.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and maybe we'll talk soon. Maybe we'll talk again soon. Do you like to come on?
Yeah, love it.
Okay.
Should get the crew on.
Yeah, I'm always looking for new people like to discuss things.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man.
Yeah,
I'll be in touch. I'll stay in touch. Okay.
All right, brother.
All right.